What's going on, everybody? And welcome to episode 36 of You Ain't Got a Podcast. I'm your co host, Wavy Jasta, and who am I with today?
It's your boy F Money and
I'm
Money
doing
for
good,
sure.
man.
How's
How about
everybody
you?
doing today? How are you doing today, Jay?
Yes, we made it to another
I'm
Friday
great, man. It's a Friday,
and to
man.
prepare for the weekend. And for today, we got some topics. We got some juicy ones. We're talking a little NIL. You know, me and Money touched on this in the off season, and we both were in lockstep of not being a fan of it. And now the ugly horns of it is starting to be revealed as we got some topics that we're going to talk about. Then, obviously, with the NFL playoffs literally 2 days away, we're going to be talking about that as well. And we're going to give our predictions of who we think will win it all, as well as who will win next week and going forward. And then to cap it all off, we'll actually probably do this one before the playoffs. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out later. But we're also going to give a review of our teams. Yeah, we're going to give a review of our teams. I'm going to give my opinion on
I
how the
was
Carolina
thinking we
Panthers
would.
did. And Money's going to give his opinion on how he thinks his Dolphins did. And then we're going to also I'm going to give my opinion on his Dolphins. He's going to give his opinion on my Panthers. So it should be fun. I'm actually excited to see what he thinks of our season compared to what I think. But regardless of which, are you ready to start us off, Money? All right. Before you start, I almost forgot.
I'm ready.
Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new. It means a lot to us. Leave a comment, all those good things. Money, take it away.
Okay, so this topic I call NIL problems. Hey, Jay, check your audio. I'll say the first topic we're going to talk about with NIL problems is Desmond Williams Jr. He's the Washington quarterback. For everybody who doesn't know, he signed a contract on January 2nd with Washington and then announced Tuesday that he's transferring to LSU. I'm like, man, like this is quick, right? And so the contract turned out to be, Jay, how about this? He signed a $5 million contract at Washington. He's making $5 million as a college quarterback, bro. Ridiculous. But I'm gonna say I found out him and the coach, they had like the same agent, and the funny thing is he tried to leave and it ended up with him staying and returning to Washington
Think how awkward that's going to be
because the school was about to sue the
returning after
crap
you
out
was
of
like,
him
actually,
because
I'm
he
going
was
to
trying to
bounce
go to
out.
LSU.
Because obviously, as a teammate, I kind of look at you like you try to back out of your word. Like, you're not a man of your word, you know? So it looks bad. Obviously, he's a kid, too. Did you know that? He's 19. So, like, whoever's advising him is not advising him
Mm.
correctly. But anyways, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm gonna tell you this, Jay. No, you're good. That's all I have. I'm gonna tell you this, Jay. I would look at him differently. And to me, I think the school should have just let him leave. They should have. He should
Correct.
have reimbursed him, let him leave because
I
he's
agree.
not all in.
If you don't want to be here, go ahead and leave, but we need that money back. We need that money back, Playboy. So, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Because now it's bringing a negative energy into that locker
And they're
room.
saying these schools, yeah, and these schools got big time attorneys and everything. They're ready to go to court with
Nope.
you. And let's just be real. You're not gonna be able to fight that school.
Unless you got your own deep pockets. And 19-year-old kid, I'm sure he doesn't have as deep of pockets as
You're gonna tell.
Washington.
Hey, Jay, I'll say this next part of the NIL is really interesting, and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna let you lead off
Damon
with this
Wilson
one.
II is currently involved in a significant legal dispute stemming from his transfer from the University of Georgia to the University of Missouri, and is becoming one of the first major legal cases of its kind involving the NIL agreement and the NCAA transfer portal. So it all started back in 2024. Wilson signed with Georgia. Um, Lost my place. Hold on. Okay. It started in 2024. Wilson signed with Georgia for what was supposed to be a 12-month NIL contract with the school's Classic City Collective. agreed at $500,000 of total value with periodic payments. Georgia paid him about $30,000 before he entered the transfer portal. Shortly after signing, Wilson entered the transfer portal and ultimately transferred to Missouri. Georgia filed a lawsuit against Wilson claiming he owed them $390,000 in liquidated damages under the NIL agreement for leaving before the contract term ended. The school contended the clause was enforceable and that Wilson's departure triggered a payment obligation. Georgia asked the judge to compel an arbitration based on the contract. And, money, before you respond, he countersued. He didn't just defend, he countersued. He sued the University of Georgia back in Missouri State Court with several allegations. One was a non-binding contract argument. Wilson claimed the documents he signed was only a term sheet and not fully executed and legally binding NIL contract, meaning the liquidated damage clause should not apply. Number two was punishment of transferring. He alleged Georgia has tried to punish him for entering the transfer portal, including sharing misleading information with other programs about his financial obligations, harming his recruiting opportunities. Number three, defamation and reputation harm. Wilson's lawsuit claim states Georgia officials suggested he should honor his commitments, portraying him as a dishonest and injure his reputation. Fourth, interference civil conspiracy claims. He asserts Georgia and the Classic City Collective engaged in actions to interfere with his rights and contractual opportunities. This legal fight is one of the first major tests of how liquidated damages clauses in NIL agreements can be used or potentially misused when a college athlete transferred. Legal experts note the liquidated damage previously generally are meant to estimate real harm, not punish someone for leaving, so ruling he could influence how schools structures NIL contracts in the future.
Wow, that's all I can say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Just in case we have new viewers, NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. I just wanted to put it out there because just in case somebody was like, "What does NIL stand for?" Well, that's what it stands for. Second of all, Jay, he's countersuing them for how much? Do you know? Or
I don't have a dollar amount, but he is countersuing them. As of obviously today, 2026, January 9th, they're both still pending in court. His countersuit and also Georgia's original lawsuit.
Let me ask you your thoughts. Who do you agree with? Do you agree with Georgia countersuing, saying that he ruined the contract? Because you said they only paid him what, $30,000, right? So how are they suing for $390? Talking about his messing up their name, image, and likeness. Like the only time that we would see the NIL is if he was either in a video game, NCAA, or if
so my guess would be Georgia's basically saying, based on the amount they're suing him for,
or he had
saying like, hey, we paid you everything except for about $10,000, so we need that all back. But at the same time, though, hold on, because I'm thinking like he signed a 14-month NIL contract with the school. How many months was he with the team?
Mm-hmm. What? And if he transferred,
yeah, let me look it up real quick because that's
the football season is 6 months, right? So if he transferred, that'd be he probably was there 7, 8 months, maybe. It's my best guess. So he didn't finish out the contract. That means.
So 6 months, yeah.
Because he only went there for 1 year. It's basically
so let's say,
when
does it start? Usually August, September. You know, football, we got to get there a little early. So we'll say August. So August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's 5 months. I mean, technically that's right. So you didn't serve the contract. So, I mean, it's hard to agree with these billion-dollar industries and powers because, like, you have more than enough. But at the same time, though, if you signed a contract for 14 months, that's tough, man. That's tough. 100%
these
they don't.
contracts a lot of times probably don't even have outs because we see players.
No, I was saying 100% they
transferring
don't.
more than
I was
ever.
agreeing with you.
Repeat that. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like, it's like it just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna bring up another point because it's getting crazy. We both called it, said it was gonna be a bad idea. We both called it because it's getting to the point now that not only are they suing players, but schools are suing schools. Which, yeah. So they say Wisconsin is suing Miami over NIL payments to a player, arguing that Miami undermined their contract, potentially impacting future transfers and NIL agreements. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. Are they saying that Miami went out the same players they went out there and they're like, hey, we're going to pay you more than Wisconsin? Because Wisconsin, let's just be real, they are a big school, but I don't know if they have the type of pockets Miami has, especially since they're nationally
Wisconsin's
recognized.
nationally recognized. I won't say that.
Everybody's like UM and
like you never know who's
that
back in these universities, especially these big names. So
no, I'm saying
as far as whose pockets deeper there.
Well, I'll say, if we ask people off top of their head, have you heard of UM or Wisconsin? I think UM is
First of
more
all, Money, if we ask people, have they heard of University of Wisconsin? They say no. I'll be very concerned for the future of this country. There's no reason you should have never heard of the University of Wisconsin. I think that was a bad example. Because that's crazy. Wisconsin's literally a state. They'd be like, oh, I never heard. I didn't know Wisconsin had colleges. Like,
I'm just saying, bro.
So, yeah, that would be wild. That's like, you ever heard of the University of Texas? No, never heard of it. Like, okay, all right.
I'm going to just say, you know, yes. It's getting to the point that schools are suing schools, and I think that's ridiculous. Like, you all are both billion-dollar, you know, universities. Why are you all suing each other? Because you're probably going after the same player, and that player was like, "Hey, I want to go to Miami."
And that's a part of it. That's a part of being recruited. It's like you put you give your pitch. You say, "Hey, player, you should come to my university for X, Y, and Z reasons." And then another school is going to pitch the same thing to that same player. You know. So some schools are going to have a better pitch to that child, and then other schools are going to have better pitches to that particular player. It all depends on each player because all these kids have their own personalities and opinions. So to sit here and be like, oh, well, you know, you're going after the same kids as us. Well, of course, that's how it works. If he's the number 5 player in the country, best believe some of the top names in this country's football is going to go after him. So I'm not sure how this is going to stand in court. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree totally. Here's another thing, right?
No.
So you heard about Ole Miss quarterback?
I've heard his name, yes.
Trinidad Chamberlain, right? How about this, right? I'm gonna say with NIL and everything, this guy is trying to get a 6-year of eligibility, bro. How many years you need to play in college, bro? Go to the pros. Go to the pro. This is the problem with NIL. If he wasn't making that bag in college, he would have went to there would be no decision, no conversation about trying to return for your 6th year. You'd be like, you know what, bro? Let me go get that bag in the pros. Right or wrong?
Your favorite quarterback, little brother, tried to do the same thing.
It's just crazy, bro. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, these guys want to be in college forever,
and
man.
we already had.
I'm pretty sure
we had the last year of the COVID kids. I think all the COVID kids are done, so there's no more COVID eligibility left. So to be like, oh, I need a 6th year, for what? You ain't get your degree yet, because I think that's what they're trying to do. Like, oh, I'm close to getting my degree, and it's like you can always come back. So. Yeah, 6 years.
Hey Jay, you should be dang near getting your master's. That how long you in college with that time period, bro? Cause I tell you about 6 years to get a master's. So dang, bro, go get the master's degree at that point. Like I looked at it right. So I was wondering. I was like, where do they have a ranked in the NFL draft board? Because we're talking about NIL and everything, and them getting paid, and it's like, bro, they have them as a late first round, maybe second round pick. Bro, go to the pros, bro. If you that like that, go to the pros, man. And then they say, "Old Miz might sue." For what? They're like, well, he had a red shirted year, and then he got a medical year, and all this and that, bro. It's like, come on, bro. This man dang near been in college for dang near 40 years.
You remember it was a tight end for
Brandon
the
Whedon
University of
come out of
Miami a
college at
couple
30
years ago. Played like
after
9
being
or
there
10
that
seasons
long?
of college football.
It's ridiculous, man. The dream over in college, bro.
The dream. Yeah, that's tough.
Like go to the pros, man. Like go
Yeah,
play
that's
on
tough.
Sunday. You think like let's just be
not.
real. If it wasn't for NIL, you
That's
think
what it
he'd
is.
be
That's
going
why.
back to
That's why I
college?
was saying with women's basketball. That's why we see so many of these girls deciding to go back
That's another problem.
because that NIL, man. It's bittersweet because it helps
Yeah.
colleges keep these athletes
Yeah,
longer
you
in
take that
basketball,
away,
which I'm
it
all
wouldn't be
for
the
because I
conversation.
never liked the one and done kids. But at the same time, though, they should be making more than certain pro athletes. Like the cap for NIL should be less than the lowest contract in the NFL or even for NBA. You can do it based on sport. So let's say the vet minimum. I don't know the vet minimum, but let's say the vet minimum in the NBA is $1 million, right? No college kid should make no more than $800,000. You should not make more than a professional because you're not a professional.
You know what, Jay? I disagree with that. I think, I agree and disagree at the same time. I feel like they shouldn't make as much as the last draft pick. Like say if in the NFL, the seventh round, the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant made
Oh, wow.
400,000.
So
It
I'm
should
being
be
more
capped
generous
at
than
that.
you then. Okay, I mean I agree with you. No matter what level it is, I agree. It should be more than professional. So if that's the measure stick, I can get behind that. It shouldn't because honestly, no college kid needs $100,000. $100,000 is perfectly fine for any 18-year-old. It's adults though, they don't even make $100,000. So if you're making $100,000 as a college athlete, that's more than enough. Because your room and board is already covered under your scholarship. So what do you truly need $3.4 million for?
Flexing. Yeah, they're trying to flex, bro. And so that's why I said I agree and disagree because, like, say with the NBA, right? Okay, say if a second round pick makes, let's just say
I
he
can
makes
do with that.
500,000, 400 should be the count. Because I don't think you
Correct.
should make as much as a rookie because you're not even a professional. You're a college athlete, and think about you're making more than Reggie Bush and these dudes who've been Heisman
Legends.
winners or Julio Jones who's going into the Hall of Fame. You're making more than these dudes ever had a chance to make. Like we ain't gonna even go down the list of athletes.
And a lot of these
who
kids don't even
are
be
making
good.
this type of money, then they get to the
A
pros.
lot of
and
these
they
kids be
nothing.
mid-tier at best.
You know?
And it's like, why is this kid making $3 million to play
Yeah.
quarterback in college football? And he's average at best.
Okay. Hey Jay, I'm gonna just have to say this. I have to get this one off my chest because I think me and you both agree, right? And then we'll probably be done with NIL.
Oh, Bryce Underwood getting a bag. I
How
wanna
much
say
is the
he getting
Michigan
$10
quarterback
million.
making? What has he done special? Because I can't name anything. They had a 9-3 record. What has he done special? He hasn't been on Heisman talks. He hasn't been to none of this. You're making that type of bag. You should
No,
be a
I mean, yeah,
you should be
you
in
that
the
big,
Heisman
big
running as a
dog.
freshman.
He was a
Right or
5-star
wrong?
coming out. You know, obviously you started as a freshman. Imagine not starting him. And another thing that I think about too is like these NIL deals, they don't have caps. So is there going to be a point where these players are making more than the coaches? Because I think that's a problem. No college kids should be making more than no college coach.
Oh boy, Jay, could you imagine college kids making $10
Nuts.
million?
And your coach has a
year?
3-year deal worth $10 million.
That's probably that'll be a problem. So I'll say Jay and I both agree because I'll call this topic NIL problems. And NIL
Very quickly
has
too.
become a problem in college football, and I think it needs to be capped. You shouldn't make more. Yes, you shouldn't make more than a lowest round
Totally
rookie
agree with you on that one.
because you're not a professional.
All right, what's next, Money?
All right, man. I'm ready. I'm about to. We're gonna do the end of season review because I know that the playoffs we're gonna have to give our picks and everything. So I'm ready. The next topic for y'all is we're gonna talk about our teams and the end of year reviews. I'm gonna go first though. We talked about it. You said what would I give the Dolphins grade wise? I'm gonna just bring up some things. The Dolphins finished 7-9. We had the 12th pick in the draft. We fired the coach and the GM. That's all you need to know about the season. I get a season a D. It would have been an F if we would have got we got 14th pick, but I give it a D because I think we had some rookie talent to develop, but the fact is we're in a worse position than I think. You won too many games, so you don't have a top 5 pick, and it's not like you look at the draft and like, hey, we got a cornerstone player. Looking at the draft, so I'm gonna say I was disappointed in the season.
Hold on.
A player that stuck out to me.
Do you still think Kenneth Grant was a bad pick?
I did a rookie for this one. Okay. Compared to
Like who?
Some of the players that were picked after him, yes.
Like who?
I think we should have took. You think so? Warren. I think we should have took Warren. Yes, Waller did his thing, but Jay, let's just call it what it is. Waller had 2 big games, then he's on IR or hurt. Then he had 2 more big games and on IR. And it's like,
well, I don't think that's fair to
you gonna play or sit on the bench.
A guy, an offensive guy that went off.
One or the
You
other.
said defense. You said you wanted defense. You was big on Nick Emery. So I was expecting you to say a defensive name. Because pre-draft, I thought Colston Loveland was better than Tyler Warren. And then we seen the season, and no, Tyler Warren was clearly the better tight end. So
I'm going to say this. I think we should have, if we're going to draft defense first round, we should have took the cornerback, Will Johnson.
Yeah, corners was bad.
I think our biggest issue was cornerback. We don't have no young corner that I could look at. Yes, we picked up. I
think he got injured right when he got there,
he's
too.
injured. He's been injury prone. Yes, and we have old corners. Jack Jones is 27. Like, come on, bro. Like, we have nothing but old corners over there. I named Jack Jones because I think I like him as a corner, and I was like, he's one of our younger corners, even though he's 27. Yeah, and it's like, we need young cornerback talent. I would say the crazy thing to me is, because I'm going to talk about a player that stuck out, was Jordan Phillips. He was drafted in the 5th round, and he made a great impact, too, at defensive tackle. So I'm like, our 5th round pick is making almost as much of an impact as our 1st round pick. That's what, and then I'm going to say another player that stuck out to me that has me questioning the whole Dolphins organization is Theo Wise Jr. He hit the first game he played. against the Bucks. This man had a 60-yard touchdown. It's like, why is this man not have? Why hasn't he been playing the whole season? A 60-yard bomb, and you know why he probably wasn't playing? Because we're playing Tua, and Tua and him doesn't have. They haven't practiced together, but
Right.
Quinn practiced with him and knew what type of player he was. And think about it, we have nothing but little small fries at wide receiver. You know, like no offense to our receivers, but Jalen Waddles 5'10", Malik
Tyreek Hill's
5'9", 5'10", Tyreek Hill 5'10", Malik, you know, well, you know, and all our even Achan, you know, Achan is 5'9", 5'8". You know, like we have, and he's a running back. It's like we have no size out there, and we have a receiver that was a rookie, 6'3", out here catching 60-yard bombs, and then he caught a long one against the Patriots. And you know what's crazy, Jay? If our quarterback would have threw it to him that game, he probably could have had another touchdown. So I'm questioning decision making because we had a receiver that, as soon as he stepped on the field, made an impact. And he wasn't playing this whole season. It's like, why? Why not? Then I'll say our first round pick. You wanted to know about what I thought about the first round pick. I thought he was an okay pick. I didn't think like did he make a little bit of an impact? Yes. But I'll say future wise, I think he has potential. I wouldn't say he's a horrible pick, but I'll say I think he has potential. Because he did start making plays at the back end. That's why I say okay.
And to be
like I give him like a
argumentative,
C+.
he is
That's
a
what I would
rookie,
give
buddy.
him grade wise. Okay. I know, but the fact that we drafted a defensive tackle, we had Zach Sealer, who was supposed to be one of our cornerstones, was what had me questioning things. I'm like, okay, we have a defensive tackle that we think is our cornerstone. Why are we drafting a defensive tackle? We actually drafted 3 defensive tackles in the draft, by the way. It's like corner is the bigger need. That's my biggest issue with it. Corner or
I
safety
don't
was
think
the
you
bigger
drafted
need.
either, did you?
Especially cornerback.
If I remember.
I'll say yes, we did. We drafted Jason Marshall Jr. He played like a corner. He played like slot corner. So he was a safety, but he played slot corner. So I'll say he had a decent season, but I want to see what he could do at safety, not corner, because I don't think he has the type of speed to run with those speedster wide receivers. Just me being honest with you and being real. I'm gonna say my biggest shock, bro.
Jordan Brooks had
My biggest shock was Jordan Brooks. Jordan Brooks, linebacker for the Dolphins, he led the NFL in tackling, and then he was a Pro Bowl snub, which I didn't understand. I'm like, wouldn't that get you the votes? So I'm looking to see if he makes the All-Pro team because you have to lead the league in tackling. My biggest disappointment, I have 2, bro. I have Tua and Jonas and I. Our second round pick, I don't think he really improved that much, bro. Like, a lot of YouTubers were excited about him, man. This is the player I wanted. And I look on the field, and this dude getting thrown out the way like a doggone little kid. Dude getting bulldozed out the way. Like, I looked at the Patriots game, this man was getting treated. And it's disappointing. It's like, you know, I'll give him a few years because I know he's still young. But it's like, you held out of camp. Then you get on the field and you look garbage. That makes me frustrated. And Tua, the dude led the league in passing. Like, bro, I think me and you could have went out there with a blindfold on and probably threw less.
Wasn't a good year for
interceptions
Tua.
than he did.
Can't defend it. It was not a good year for Tua. I mean, from off the field and on the field, you know, like the comments he was making about locker room. Yeah, it's indefensible. So I guess it's safe to say the season didn't go as planned for you.
And I'll say the season was a disaster. No, we got a new GM. Did you hear that we just hired a new GM, Alexander? We did. We just hired a new GM. We're talking to Alexander for the He was a GM candidate. We ended up hiring. I forget the dude's name. We just hired the dude today.
Okay.
He was from the
Packers know how to run the
Packers.
team.
I really liked it because he was from the Packers. Who was the GM we hired? John Eric Sullivan is who we hired. Because if you look at the Packers, bro, here's the thing. Here's the thing I think might potentially happen.
Malik
Remember
Willis?
we said that
Would
the
you be
Dolphins
open
need
to
a
getting Malik
quarterback?
Willis? Or Trey Lance? He's going to be available.
I think it might be possible, bro. I think it might. See. So I'm like, I think Malik Willis might be possible
He's looked great
because
with them.
Packers quarterback backup might be to swing something with them. And we can't have a high cost.
I think Trey Lance is the best
player
option,
at that
man.
position because
Trey
of the Tua
Lance, or if you can
situation.
get a good deal for Malik, because I
So-
believe he's still in the contract. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it's like, hey, you got the keys for the year. If you play like stir fry, okay, we go get our quarterback. If you ball out, it's your job.
Here's my thing, Jay. Trey Lance as a prospect, great, right? But it's like it has you thinking. It's like, is it he not getting opportunities, or he just not it because of
Dallas,
all
I
these
never
teams he
understood
hopped
Dallas.
from?
Dallas traded
You know,
for him made no
like,
sense still
I'm
to
like,
this day.
I
You
think
traded for this
personally it's the
guy to be a
opportunities.
third string quarterback, and you never gave him an opportunity to play. So yeah, and like I said,
Yeah,
it's a
I think
win-win
it's
because
opportunities.
if he's bad money, then you get your quarterback. Because all the quarterbacks you and I both like, they're returning. Or Quinn.
Let him in ears,
Yeah,
Jay.
like go into camp. Yeah, absolutely.
Jay,
Go into
let him
camp,
in ears fight it out. Like, matter of fact, you know what, Jay? You know what, Jay?
Ooh.
Have three.
And you cut
have
the worst
Malik
one.
Willis, have Trey Lance,
Yeah,
and have
Warren is a
ears all
quarterback.
fight
No,
it out.
I like that.
The winner-
Because like
the
you and I
winner's the
both said,
quarterback.
it's the quarterbacks we
Yeah.
like that we thought were coming out, they're going back. Lenoris is coming back. Avery's coming back. The Prince that was promised, a.k.a. Arch Manning's coming back. So, me as a GM, I don't love any of these quarterbacks in this draft. I like some of them. I like Ty Simpson. I like Mendoza. I don't really like him, to be quite honest.
Oregon quarterback?
I think he's a product of his system. I think he's a product of his system. I would prefer
Really?
Mendoza over him personally.
Y'all like more? Man.
I mean, I like winners. If you can win with teams that we look at and be
This
like,
is
how
number
are you
2
winning with this
quarterback.
team? Then it's like, okay, yeah, we can see that. Like, I know a big one who I think Mendoza fits that. You know, he fits that. He won with Indiana, and the start of the year, we're like, Indiana's no way. Now he's out there making plays.
Jay, he's going to Raiders, bro. Let's just call it what it is. And low key, Jay, low key, here's something that I might have to say. The Raiders low key might have a little squad going on. I know you don't like Genty,
Young
but
tight end, yeah.
you have a young quarterback, young running back, young tight end.
And you have
And
a
the
young
young tight end
receiver
is
that you
probably
and I like a
top.
lot.
He's
It just
already a
depends on
top
if he
5
can
tight
put it
end.
together. and
We
get
can
on the
argue
field.
top 3, bro.
It's gonna be a scary team.
Bro, if he puts it together, bro,
Yeah.
he could be one of the biggest freaking natures in the league. Like, in a while, bro. 6'5", runs a 4.3. That type of receiver, me and you would make a
Facts.
superstar of Madden every time. But I want to hear your thought. I want to hear your thoughts on the Dolphins season. What are your thoughts on Grant? Players that might have stood out for you, team grade.
As far as
any of
guys
those
that
you wanna
stood
talk
out,
about?
I would say Achan, excuse me. Achan, I knew he was a decent player. I didn't think he was a good player, let alone a good running back, because he's small. And I think he went out there, for me personally, he proved me wrong as like, no, I'm a good running back. I'm very versatile. I could do it all. And he didn't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get dinged and missed 6 to 8 games. He missed a game or two, but that comes with running backs. And I was impressed. He was able to handle the load. He made a lot of big plays. He was the heartbeat of the Dolphins offense, especially with Tyreek out. So very impressed with him. Overall, as the team as a season, I'm not shocked how the season went because we saw this movie money. We saw this during the offseason, and the team was trending during that direction. And based on the players and the things that we're saying, not even reports, things that we were hearing the players say and the speculations, it legit became the players' team. And they were making egregious comments. And so after seeing that during the offseason, you and I both was like, it's not looking good. I know especially me because I was like, I don't know, it's not looking good. To go to 2 years ago, Money, you remember I had the Dolphins going to the AFC Championship game. I was higher on them than you was. So to go from a team that I thought 2 years ago was this close to winning a championship to where we're this close to tearing it apart is wild. It is wild. I think Grant, like you said, was okay. Yeah. To be fair, I would have liked a little more, but at the same time, he is a rookie and he is playing an interior position. So it's like, where can it go? And then your cousin Kendrick made some good points. He believes it's position coaching. So with a new head coach coming in, theoretically, we'll get a new defensive line coach in there who can probably coach them better and put them in better positions to win. So that's why I'm going to just chalk that up to. Disappointments would probably be biggest disappointment will probably be Jalen Waddle. I really expected him to step up when Tyreek went out and do what he did his rookie year, which is ball. Jalen balled his rookie year. And so I expected him to pick up that slack and be like, all right, time to do what I do best. And I feel like we didn't get that from him. And it's not for a lack of opportunities. He was getting the targets. Tua was still looking for him, and I just feel like he didn't give it to us.
Jay, I'll say
he was bad.
I think because Tua was so bad, I think that's why Jalen.
That's a fair observation. That's a fair observation.
Get the stats.
It is a fair observation. Tua was bad in all aspects of the game, so that could have. You're right. That could have impacted it, but I just felt like. I was seeing Malik Washington make more plays than him. And I like Malik Washington. I think he's a great slot receiver, but he should be making he shouldn't be jumping on my screen more than Jalen Waddle, in my opinion. So that was, I say, my biggest disappointment. But yeah, as a whole, I'm right there with you. I give the team a D. Just, we saw the writing on the wall early, and then it just slowly came to fruition. You had big leads on teams that you should have beat. You should have beat Carolina. You're up 17 points. That fell apart. Then you go out there and beat Buffalo. You should have beat the Browns. Yeah, just too much Browns. Up and down. I don't like the McDaniels firing, but I understand it. I understand the firing. The same with the Harbaugh. I don't like the Harbaugh firing, but I understand it. I'll go ahead.
You want to talk about y'all season first, or you want to go first?
So,
what I think.
The Carolina Panthers finished 8-9, which not so fun fact about our franchise. We're, I want to say, the only NFL team that has never had 2 back-to-back winning seasons.
Hold on, let me say something.
Okay, I thought I had 7-10 written down, but I didn't want to correct you. I'm like, maybe I'm wrong.
I bet 7-10 for everybody. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went 8-9.
Yeah, I meant 7-10,
which is a losing record for the people who aren't that good with math. And we are somehow won our division because it's the worst division in football, and we won off a technicality, or as the NFL like to say, a tiebreaker. And oh man, rough year. We clinched the wild card berth, but before we even get into that, offensively we averaged about 18.9 points per game, which ranked near the bottom of the league at 28th out of 32. As yards per game, we're around 309 yards per game, which is about mid-level. We're about 18th there. The Panthers struggled offensively, especially in scoring. They're one of the lowest scoring offenses in the NFL in 2025, which limited consistency despite winning enough games to take the division. Our defensive performance was mid at best. Points allowed per game was 22.4, which is literally the middle of the league, 14th. Yards allowed roughly mid through the air, we're 18th. all in all, we're an average team, and I expect us to be a good team. Not great, but good enough to hang in there with the big dogs, as we've seen beating teams like the Rams. But then we went out there and lost to teams like the Saints twice, but we beat the Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So very disappointed. I would say my team grade I'll give us is a C. You know, like I said, I was expecting us to be good, not great, but we weren't. And a big part of that was a big question I've been asked too. Do I now believe in Ted McMillan? I was arguing with a guy online because don't try the call back because I come with numbers and stats. So a guy, because you know how the NFL draft works. They draft the first round player, and he on your social media he gets the video. Our guy Ted, he was drafted, then he's on there. What's up, Panther Nation? I'm excited to come in. You know the blah blah blah. You know how I go. So some guy commented on it saying, "This is a bad pick. I don't like it." And I was like, I agree with you. We should have got Jalen Walker. Some guy commented, you remember when the draft was, right, Money? Some guy commented maybe earlier this week.
Yes.
Oh, how you feeling about that pick now? Is it still a pick? Should we have got Walker? And I said, well, he at
was
me.
it both of y'all?
So he at me under the comment of the original guy
you?
that I responded to. And so I responded, Carolina ranked 28th in sacks. So if we break it down, Money, Carolina ranked 29th in sacks, finishing with 30 as a team. Atlanta had 57 as a team, with James Pierce Jr. leading the team and all rookies in the NFL with 10.5. So I responded that. I'm like, Pierce Jr. had the most sacks in Atlanta with 10.5, more than anybody on the Carolina Panthers. You said you wanted Jalen Walker. You're correct. I did say I wanted Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker finished with 5.5 sacks. Money, how much do you think the most a Carolina Panther had this year? 3. Derek Brown, an interior lineman,
4.
defensive lineman, finished the year with 3. So 2 rookies on Atlanta who are available for us to draft on our bottom tier edge rushing, pass rushing defense were available instead of Tetherall McMillan. Now, do I think it was a bad pick? Yes. Do I now believe in him more? A little bit more. But we seen guys ball out their rookie year, then have a questionable second year. Go ahead and put Jaden Daniels in there. So, do I think he's a good player? I think he is a solid player. I'm not going to be over the moon about him because he will give me flashes, Money. He gave me flashes of CeeDee Lamb. Makes a crazy play and then drops easy ones. And it's like you cannot drop the easy ones.
No.
Because if in a perfect world for me, Money, I will feel this pick was a success if he's a Mike Williams cologne. Because Mike Williams has tortured us for the better part of 13 years. I want Tet to torture the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the better part of 13 years. Excuse me, Mike Evans. Who did I say?
You mean Mike Evans?
Mike Williams. Yes, excuse me, Mike Evans. I want him to be
Mike Williams.
Yeah.
He was still good. He was still good.
Long, annoying career for our rivals.
I was
so,
like, Mike Williams
would I still prefer those 2 pass rushers who both had more sacks than anybody on the Carolina Panthers? Yes, I would have. We could have used those 5.5 sacks from Jalen Walker. We damn sure could have used them 10.5 from James Pierce Jr., who both were drafted after Tet. So, there's that. Like I said, I'm not counting him out because he is a rookie, but I still feel like when there's 2 top-flight edge rushers available, you got to try to take one of them. Could you imagine passing on J.J. Watt for who's a Brandon Marshall? I know they're in different drafts, but I'm just making these first names pop in my head. Brandon Marshall, excellent wide receiver, Hall of Famer in my opinion. But would I rather have Brandon Marshall or J.J. Watt? I think I'm going to take J.J. Watt. So, and I'm not trying to say one of these kids will beat him. We don't know yet. It's still early. But it's just saying, when you have a talent there, go after the talent. My biggest shocker this year offensively, Rico Dowdle. Wow. Rico Dowdle. He had
I was
such a
about to
big
say that.
impact on our offense.
That was my biggest shocker.
He was the better back this year. It was times where we tried to force feed Chuba, and Chuba just was not doing anything. We put in Rico, and boom, 10 yards. Boom, 12 yards. He gets tackled in the backfield. He breaks a tackle, earns 4 yards. He was just making plays for us left and right. He finished the season with 1,076 yards and 6 touchdowns. Very proud of him. Defensively, Shaw Smith-Wade, he really stepped up in his second year. I thought he played really well to go from that slot corner role to playing more on the outside. He got beat, but I expect that in the transition period from going from slot to outside. But all in all, I thought he played really well. I thought he made some big-time plays and stuff like that won't pop up in the box sheet. Biggest disappointment of the season. Who do you think my biggest disappointment is, Money? He was bad. He did make some plays here and there. He did. I don't know if you remember. I want to say it was Buffalo. Khalil Shakir was torching this nigga when we played Buffalo. Oh my goodness! Every play it felt like J.C. Horn beat for a touchdown. J.C. Horn beat for 36 yards. But no, my biggest disappointment will be Bryce. I expected Bryce. Yes. J.C. Horn was a disappointment. I guess he was my defensive one, but I say all in all, it was Bryce. I expected Bryce to take another step. The way he finished last year, I expected to keep going on that trajectory. But instead, I feel like he just plateaued. He had great games against Atlanta, ironically, where he threw for 448 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then he had games like he did against the 49ers backup defense, where he had 169 yards and 2 interceptions. He has to be better. If we're going to be a competitive team, he has to be better. If we're going to be average, he's perfectly fine where he's at. But if we're going to be competitive and be in games more often than not, I don't need a roller coaster of Bryce Young. I don't need Bryce Young being unsure of himself. I don't need to see him throw for 400-plus yards and then next week go out there and throw for 54 yards. You know, one game he had 54 yards, Money? He threw for 54 yards against Seattle. And people are going to be like, oh, Jay, it's Seattle, one of the best defenses. I do not care. As an NFL quarterback,
54
yards is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
And
whole game,
and a half is
yards.
Unacceptable a lot of times.
He had the QBR of 44.5, I believe. 48.6. Something along those lines. It wasn't good, Money. You know, if you're a quarterback and you take the football and you spike it on the ground the entire game, your QBR will be 33.5. You mean to tell me he was 10 points higher actually throwing that motherfucker around? Unacceptable. So Bryce was definitely my biggest disappointment, man. So what did you think of my Panthers this year, Money?
Man. Okay, I'm going to say y'all were up and down to me, bro. And I would give y'all a C. Your first round pick, Ted. I'm going to just be real with you, bro.
That's fair.
If it wasn't for him, I think Bryce would have had a worse season. Because it's some games where I just seen him just throw it to him and he'll make a heck of a catch.
Yeah.
Like, especially against that Bucs game.
Correct.
If he don't make that catch, y'all lose that game. Y'all don't have him, y'all lose that game. So I'll say, I think he was a good pick. Like, just based off of him being drafted, not based off of who was around him, but who was around him, I think, you know, personally, being real, bro, y'all needed him because your other receiver he drafted in the first round last year was basically invisible a lot of the season to me.
Good.
He had more highlights. Jay, he had more highlights being a gorilla video than he did on the field, bro.
He didn't have a good year, too.
My biggest shock was Rico. That was my biggest shock.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment, you already know. J.C. Horn, bro. You paid him all that money. He need to be a lockdown cornerback. And you drafted him over PS2. I'm going to say this. The player that stuck out to me was Ted. Because he just, it seemed like Bryce would be in a pickle. He just throw it to him and he'll make a catch. Like, I think y'all needed him, bro, because what do you think the season would have been without him, bro?
I mean,
being real,
still had Jimmy Horn. I think Jimmy Horn would have got more opportunities. Obviously, I don't think he's better than Tet, but I mean, you're probably right. We probably wouldn't have played as good or had the season we had without him. So, and that's why I'm not. Like I said, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but as far as impact, you need a defense. You need a defense, man. So that's why I'm like hell bent on our defense. We haven't had a good defense in years. And it's funny too because somebody commented. They was talking about some. You know how they have those fan pages where they talk about the teams? It's a Panthers fan page I follow. And it was like, Dan Morgan needs to do whatever he can to go get Max Crosby. He doesn't want to be there. We need an edge rusher. He's perfect. Somebody said, it'll be nice to have a guy like Brian Burns on the team.
You traded him, bro.
I was like, yeah, it would be nice to have a guy like that on the team. 100%.
For a second-round pick, which was ridiculous. Like, Jay, the rumor was y'all got offered 2 firsts. You didn't take it. And then you traded for a second-round pick. Didn't make any sense. I would have fired the GM on the spot. Why trade him at that point? I'm going to just say this. Since we're going to talk about the playoffs and you all play the Rams. All right. What is your prediction?
Well, my prediction is...
Since we're talking about the Panthers in our season.
Carolina makes an early exit. Yes, we beat them during the regular season, but this is with all the money pushed to the middle. The Rams have not played well, and they need a bounce back, and I think this bounce back is what they need. So I think we're the perfect bounce back for them. We've been up and down all year. We finished off losing to the Bucs and getting again on a technicality. So... we're going to be one and done, in my opinion. I got the Rams over Carolina by a lot.
Me too, bro. Like,
yes.
I think the Rams are on a mission, bro. Like, the whole division was crazy. Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers. I'm going to just say, I'm going to just say Bryce was up and down, and he might be – I seen you all are picked up his 5th-year option but haven't talked about extension for him. I think he possibly could be what we talk about, the worst type of quarterbacks, good enough not to be good enough. And I'm hoping I'm wrong, but he had a lot of comebacks, but it's like –
we shouldn't be in a situation where comeback.
I'd
rather have a quarterback to where
at least
the middle of the 3rd quarter, early 4th quarter, he's over there in a T-shirt with a hat on because the game's is out of hand. Opposed to we in these close games and we got to try to win it. So I personally didn't like that they picked up his 5th-year option. I would have told him like, hey, either you're going to earn this contract or we're going to go in a different direction.
Jay, it seemed like y'all are doing what we did, except for y'all them giving the extension. Remember what the Dolphins did? Picked up the 5th-year option.
You know why I think they gave it to him? Because we made the playoffs. Even though we had a losing record.
He ain't that guy. You're like, man, he put up this, and that.
Horrible decision in my opinion, but we shall see how it pans out. For the rest of the NFC for the rest of the NFC wild card, I got the Niners over the Eagles. Because I think the Niners offense is clicking on all cylinders. CMC is trying to remind everybody that he was the best running back in the league for a reason. Brock Purdy has been playing really well as of late. And Eagles is a shit show. Like, I don't know how else to describe that team. And they're just bad offensively. Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass in the second half. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Money? We have AJ Brown and
You
Devontae
serious?
Smith and Dallas Goedert and Saquon
Hold on, I'm
Barkley,
trying to.
the guy who was the best running back in the league going into the season. What are we doing? They're gonna lose, and they're 49ers gonna pull them out of their misery. And a hot take for you: there's a world where Nick Sirianni gets fired. I don't think he should get fired, but I do see him potentially getting fired because this has been such a up and down season with the things going on now. Jalen Hurts didn't throw for over 150 yards in like 8 games.
I actually thought that
Really?
the Eagles would beat Seattle. I mean, not Seattle, San Fran. And the only reason why I think
Fair.
they would is
That's
because San Fran is so injured. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I can't argue for that because Philly, their division was weak, bro. Their division was weak. Let's see. The
Tiny
Commanders were
quarterbacks.
bad because Jaden Daniels was out most of the season. The Giants were bad. The Giants were bad because Malik Neighbors, Dart had concussion issues, and then Scatterbo. And then who was the other
Really?
the other team in their
Most
division?
popular
I
team
forget
in the
off top of
world,
my
bro.
head. I know it's Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys. And the Cowboys weren't really that
Yeah.
great either. So it's like they were in a weak division, bro. They had a weak one. Like they had the second worst division in the league.
It was
to me.
bad. It was bad for sure.
Who do you have with Chicago and Green Bay, bro? I've been debating this one the whole time, bro.
I got the Bears,
because I
man.
think it could go either
Yeah, I'm
way.
going Chicago too.
But I'm going Chicago, bro.
They don't have Parsons. Their quarterback's been dealing with
They don't have
injuries.
Parsons.
Although Malik Willis has
That's
been
my
playing
thing.
great, he's not going to be their quarterback because Jordan Love is their starting quarterback. So Love is going to be playing injured. That defense is a shell of itself. I think they had another season-ending injury. I still don't think Diggs is called to speed on that. So I think they're going to make an early exit and just try to prepare for next year. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
I'll tell you my Super
So
Bowl
AFC
pick
wild
later,
card.
after we do
I got the
AFC.
Texans beating the
Yeah.
Steelers because the Steelers are a bad team. And Mike Tomlin is hanging on
Me too.
a string.
Me too.
You remember that old school song? You got me hanging on strings now. That's Tomlin right now, hanging on to his job. He's hanging on for dear life. He should have been fired this year, but of course he had a winning season, which it doesn't mean anything to have a winning season and you get boat race in the first game of the playoffs. I think the Texans has one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time, and yeah, I think I got them beating the dog shit out of the Steelers.
Me and you both agree. I have Houston beating the Steelers. The Steelers low key shouldn't even be in the playoffs if it wasn't for a rookie kicker. So I agree with you. I'm gonna go to Jacksonville versus Buffalo. I'm thinking Jacksonville's gonna win that. I'm picking Jacksonville to win that game because for some reason it just seemed like Jacksonville is just winning games no matter what.
Right there with you. 100% agree.
So I'm picking
Trevor
Jacksonville
Lawrence
versus
is starting to
Buffalo.
look like a
What do you
first-round
think?
pick, and it's scary. Jacksonville defense has been there all year, even when their offense wasn't clicking. Their defense has been showing up, and now it looks like Trevor Lawrence is hot. No one wants to play them. I got the Jags over Buffalo as well.
Jay, think about
Yeah.
this. They're doing this without their number 2 pick.
So theoretically, when he comes back, they're going to be scary. Exactly.
They're going to be
Duval!
scary.
Leading into the Patriots over Chargers. Yeah, I got the Patriots over the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a bad team that just limped into the playoffs. And I think the Patriots are one of the better teams in the NFL, led by Drake May, North Carolina stand up, North Carolina finest, But no, I think the Patriots are a really good team, and I don't think the Chargers are a good team. They got so many injuries, and their quarterback's playing hurt as well. Just put the dog down at this point.
I agree. They don't have like one of their tackles is injured. I just think that New England's gonna beat them, especially since they got their running game and Drake May has been playing great. I'm gonna just tell you,
You gonna skip the
this is
conference?
my Super Bowl pick.
You gonna
It's not a
skip the
homer pick,
conference?
but I'm going Jacksonville versus Seattle. I'm going Jacksonville versus. I'm skipping the conference, bro. I'm going straight to the Super Bowl. Jacksonville versus
I
Seattle.
got Jacksonville versus the Rams.
Bookie.
Yeah, they do.
Jacksonville just wins, bro. Are they going to be able to win against the top team in the NFC? I don't know, bro.
All right,
But
so
that's my
you
Super Bowl
said Jags
prediction.
over Seattle. So that means you have Seattle. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you don't have your pick
no.
yet?
Jags versus Seattle, bro. Not over. I don't.
I'm gonna put my nuts on the
I
desk.
don't know.
I got Jacksonville over
I don't
whoever
have
makes
my
it
pick
out the
yet, bro.
NFC.
I'll think about
I
it.
like the Rams making it. I got the Rams and Seattle in the conference championship, and I got the Rams beating Seattle. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Point blank period. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in the NFL. So I got the Rams finally getting their shit together and beating the Seattle Seahawks in the conference championship. And then I got Jacksonville getting their first ever Super Bowl and bringing it back to Duval.
Okay, you want to talk about my conference?
Same.
The AFC, I have Jacksonville versus Denver. And I think me and you both agree. I don't think Bo Nix has enough to put them over the top this year. And then for the NFC, I have Seattle versus Chicago, bro.
Wow.
I think Chicago going to have that magic and make it down. And Seattle going to say, hey, we beating on y'all boys. That's my pick, bro. And then Jacksonville versus Seattle. The funny thing is, bro, no matter that Sam Darnold has played great, I think Jacksonville just has had that season where they'll beat them, bro. Because I think they're going to do something to take away JSN. Like, you know what I would do, Jay? If I was a defensive coordinator, I'm double teaming him the whole game.
Yeah, he
Right
got
now,
to.
take
He's
him
pulling
away.
out of his mind
Beat
this
me with
year.
somebody else.
They did good the first
Man.
time they played them, and then the second half, Jason
Safety
finally
over the
broke
top,
free.
corner right
So
there bumping
yeah,
him.
you gotta go figure out what you did in that first half, the first time you guys played them, to where you held them to 0 catches, and do that the whole game.
Jay, did
Jags
so you
and
say the
Seattle.
Jags
Oh, I
and
was
Seattle
thinking
played this year?
of the Rams and Seattle because I got Rams and Seattle in the conference. That's what I was saying. But no, for sure, you got to figure out what the Rams did and then duplicate that.
Man, this is when you need Travis Hunter because I think he could shade. He has agility and speed
That's
to
a
stay
tall
with
task for a rookie
JSN.
money.
And I would just play a safety over top because he was
JSN's looking
still
like
a
the
rookie.
best
And I think
receiver in football.
JSN
That's a
route
tall
running,
task.
bro. That's why I would have Jay. That's why I would have my safety over the top. I'm double teaming him the whole game. Tell the safety, you're playing deep, but you're watching him. I'm telling the other safety, do what you got to do to stop everybody else because you're watching him. I'll tell Travis Hunter,
Facts.
hey,
I mean, I can't
we
argue
drafted
with
you in the
that.
second round. You're going to have to earn that tonight if he was playing. But, you know, if you're going to be a lockdown corner, Deion, you learn from Deion, bro. You're a rookie. We're throwing you right into the fire. But I think with Jacksonville, I think that the reason why they will beat Seattle is because I think Trevor Lawrence would get the ball last, and he had somehow drive him down the field.
I mean, this
That's
is
why
what
I think
this
they're
is.
gonna
This
beat
is
them.
this
They
is
will
the
beat
reason
them.
why I fell in love with Trevor Lawrence in college. You know, backstory on Trevor Lawrence. I was a huge Trevor Lawrence supporter when he was at Clemson, and then when the draft rolled around, Trevor made a comment that I personally hated. So after that, I never supported him anymore. But he's looking like the guy that I fell in love with in college. I'm like, yo, this dude is the next one. So he's balling like Spalding. Ain't nothing you can say about him. If he keeps playing like that, Jacksonville is a scary team and a hard one to beat for sure. Correct.
And I think they had a harder conference, bro, because they had. Think about this. I know New England had Buffalo, but Miami and the Jets were bad.
The
They
three
had to
best
fight through
defenses
the
are in the
Colts
AFC.
and Houston. The Titans, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you had to fight through the Colts and Houston? Bro, that's not no easy task, bro. And y'all came out of that division. I think they had their battle, they battle scars, bro. They had their wars, out there, man. They had that's gonna make them a tougher team. That's what I think. Because Houston has the best defense in the league, and you all got through them. And then the Colts have, let's just call it what it is. He was playing like the best running back in the NFL, and you beat them. So that's what I think.
Oh man, it's exciting. It's exciting. The first game is Sunday, right? We start Sunday, correct? Today's in.
No,
I thought it was
Saturday.
I mean, you might be right. I saw
I thought
some
the game
games
was Saturday. Let me
11th.
check real quick. Let's see.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, so
No,
tomorrow,
the 10th, bro. Y'all play
tomorrow
the Rams.
Carolina kicks
at
it off
4:30.
against the Rams.
And then the Packers play the Bears.
I love my team. I ride one to the end, but I just don't see us beating the Rams. If we do beat the Rams, then I'll be anything's possible. That'd be crazy. Then I guess that
Anything
conspiracy
possible.
theory might be right. Then if we make it to the Super Bowl somehow, yeah, the whole J-Lo conspiracy.
What the J-Lo?
You got anything else, money?
So we'll see, bro.
I am too.
I'm just excited for the
Yes, sir,
playoffs,
yes,
bro. This
sir.
is like my favorite time of the year. We might have to come out here with our gear, whatever. Well, my team was making the playoffs.
But hey, new beginnings
But
though.
them dudes-
You're gonna have a
them dudes
new
look
head
bad.
coach. Tua, did you hear his recent comments? Say he will be open to a new team.
Bro, you got benched. What do you think gonna happen when you're the third string quarterback, bro?
Potentially being moved? And he's like, I mean, I'm open to it. He's like, sometimes a fresh start is what's needed. For people. He's basically saying that he's okay with it, and it sounds like he wants to be moved at this point. So I guess next week we can talk about his potential landing spots. All right, that's an off-season topic. So we'll say that for the off-season. But I don't know, man. But like I said, you'll have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
You'll have a new head coach. Yeah. You have your new GM from the Packers. So he's promising because the Packers know how to run a team. So it's on the up and up. It's on the up and up. It's on the up and up.
He was the best GM out there, bro. Hey, our owner, like one thing I can say about the Dolphins owner is he will do whatever it
You
takes.
ain't cheating, you ain't trying, my boy. Okay?
Hey, Jay, what they let that call it what it is, Jay.
Yeah.
He's not been cheap. He will fire a dude, and
That's
he
what
will
it's
pay
about,
whatever
man.
money it
That
takes.
means he
to get
believes
a
he
winner.
believes in what he's trying to do. Nobody
He
wants to be a
tries.
loser.
And I respect that.
But if you made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much. It means the world to us. Please like, please share, and if you're new, please subscribe. Send this to a friend that can send to a friend that can send to a friend that can send to a girlfriend that'll be like, what is this? And then she can send it to her homeboy. That way we get it all out there. Get everyone involved. Leave a comment on anything you want us guys to talk about next episode. And leave your playoff predictions too. I want to hear what you guys think gonna win it all. Love to hear that. Money, anything I'm leaving out, man? Yes. Playoff season is the most exciting time of the year.
We just
man.
excited. This is playoff
But
season.
I'm your co-host, Jason HD, aka Two Wavy Jason. Peace.
I'm F Money and Money for Short. Y'all take it easy.